The studio lights burn brighter than ever, white, sharp, and almost hostile. Laughter ripples through the crowd, loud, chaotic, a kind that hides discomfort beneath its echo. At the center of that chaos sits Tom Cruise, posture perfect, expression unreadable. He smiles, but it's the kind of smile that hides something. His hands rest on his knees, still, controlled, as if every muscle is holding back a storm. Across from him, Joy Behar leans forward, grinning wide, teasing as the cameras zoom in. Her tone playful. Too playful. She says something, light, almost throwaway, but it lands heavy. We don't hear the words clearly, not yet, just the way the laughter spikes and then fades, a mic crackles, a second of silence. The kind that doesn't just fill the air, it changes it. Tom blinks once. His smile doesn't move, but the room feels it. That shift, that moment when amusement turns into something else. A man in the audience stops clapping mid-motion. The host next to Joy glances toward the control booth. Even the camera operator hesitates, frame trembling, unsure whether to zoom in or cut away. The sound engineer swallows hard, a dry click on the audio feed. It's the sound of live television turning into something real. Tom finally speaks, barely above a whisper. You know, he starts, then stops. That half sentence pulls the audience forward in their seats. Joy tilts her head, amused. Go on, she says, but he doesn't, not yet. He just looks at her, not angry, not emotional, just awake. The kind of look that says you went too far, and you know it. In the control room, the producer mouths, cut to break. But the director shakes his head. Stay with it. Because everyone knows something real is about to happen. The laughter has died. The lights hum louder, and for the first time, the live in live TV feels dangerous. Then, that voice, calm even, unmistakable. Joy, there's a line. Beat, and you just crossed it. Silence, absolute, uncomfortable, perfect. Just minutes before that chilling silence, the energy in the studio had been completely different. The audience laughed easily, the crew relaxed, and Tom Cruise appeared to be in his usual radiant spirit, confident, charming, and endlessly patient. Joy Behar, known for pushing buttons in the name of humor, was in her comfort zone. The interview was supposed to be simple, a light-hearted conversation about his upcoming film, his insane stunts, and that signature smile that had carried him through decades of fame. But beneath the laughter, there was something fragile in the air, a tension no one noticed until it cracked. Joy's tone began to shift halfway through. The jokes turned from playful to pointed. She brought up his personal life, the kind of question that doesn't belong on air. The crowd laughed, unsure whether it was okay to laugh. Tom's smile held, but his eyes didn't. For a fraction of a second, the man known for his composure looked still, not frozen, contained. The kind of stillness that says, I heard you, and that wasn't right. The narrator's voice cuts in, calm yet heavy. That moment, the one everyone would replay for days, didn't come out of nowhere. It was built line by line, smirk by smirk, until the balance tipped. In the control booth, someone whispers, she's going too far. But Joy doesn't stop. The camera catches it all. Every blink, every twitch, every forced laugh. Tom doesn't interrupt her. He doesn't need to. Because sometimes silence says more than words ever can. And that's when it happens. The moment laughter turns into air too thick to breathe. The moment the world realizes, this isn't entertainment anymore. Joy leans back in her chair, confidence painted across her face. The crowd, warmed by her humor, chuckles on cue, until her next line drops like a stone in water. It's a comment about Tom's personal beliefs, something private, twisted just enough to sound like a joke. For a moment, time slows. The laughter falters. A few faces in the audience shift, unsure whether to smile or stay quiet. Tom doesn't move. He doesn't blink. His jaw tightens just enough for the camera to catch it. The air changes, the kind of shift that even those watching at home can feel. His eyes lock on Joy, calm but piercing, the kind of stare that burns through the noise and straight into conscience. The narrator's voice cuts softly through the silence. Every person has a breaking point, but not every person shows it. Joy realizes what she's said only when the laughter dies completely. The energy turns heavy, almost electric. No one speaks. The sound engineer lowers the volume instinctively, but it's already too late. That single moment, one line, one glance, has flipped the entire room, and Tom Cruise finally exhales. The storm has begun. Tom leans forward, his voice calm, almost too calm for what just happened. The audience holds its breath, waiting for the Hollywood charm to return, but it doesn't. Instead, his words cut through the silence like glass. You know, Joy, there's a line, and you just crossed it. No anger, no shouting, just truth, steady, unshakable. The kind that doesn't need volume to be heard. Joy blinks, caught off guard. She laughs, hoping to soften the tension. But her laugh bounces off the quiet walls and falls flat. Tom doesn't look away. You invited me here to talk about respect, about work, about art, but this isn't conversation. This is mockery. The audience shifts in their seats. Someone coughs. A camera light flickers. For a brief second, live television feels like a courtroom. Truth on trial, pride as the witness. The narrator's voice deepens. Sometimes the most powerful statement isn't a performance. It's restraint. Tom leans back, his expression unchanged. He's not there to humiliate. He's there to remind. The crowd knows it. Even Joy knows it. And in that instant, the laughter that once filled the room becomes something else entirely. Respect. For a moment, no one moves. The cameras are still rolling, but it feels like the world outside the studio has stopped to listen. Joy forces a smile, the kind that doesn't reach her eyes. Oh, come on, Tom, it was just a joke, she says lightly, but her voice trembles under the weight of her own words. Tom doesn't reply. He just watches her, steady and unflinching. His silence says what words can't. Some lines aren't meant to be crossed. The audience shifts uneasily. A few people glance toward the stage crew, unsure if they should clap or stay quiet. The laughter that once fed the moment now feels hollow, misplaced. Even the bright studio lights seem softer, dimmer, as if the room itself is embarrassed. The narrator's voice fades in, low and reflective. What began as entertainment had turned into revelation. In trying to make light of another's truth, she had stumbled into her own reflection. Joy lowers her gaze. Tom nods once, not in victory, but in closure. The crowd stays silent, not out of discomfort, but out of respect. For the first time that night, the show feels real. Tom takes a slow breath, the kind that resets a room. He doesn't storm off, doesn't raise his voice. He simply chooses grace over anger. You know, he says quietly, eyes still fixed on Joy, when we forget respect, we lose more than just the conversation. We lose the meaning behind it. The words hang in the air, heavy but calm, echoing louder than any outburst could. The audience listens, captivated. There's no applause, no noise, just presence. Tom continues, we can disagree, we can joke, but when it turns personal, that's when it stops being human. The tension slowly dissolves into reflection. Even Joy seems smaller now, her bravado fading into silence. The narrator speaks softly. In that moment, he didn't just defend himself. He reminded everyone watching that dignity isn't weakness. It's strength, disciplined and deliberate. Tom leans back, the storm within him finally still. The audience exhales as if waking from a trance. For a fleeting second, live television feels intimate. Raw honesty broadcast across millions of screens. And as the camera slowly pans away, one truth remains: respect, once reclaimed, doesn't need to be explained. The air inside the studio feels different now, quieter, heavier, almost sacred. Joy sits still, her usual wit replaced by something more human: reflection. The cameras capture her expression, not the confident host, but someone realizing the weight of her words. Tom adjusts his microphone, his tone calm and collected. We all make mistakes, he says softly, offering a faint smile. What matters is whether we learn from them. His voice isn't sharp or defensive. It's steady, like someone closing a chapter without tearing the page. The audience finally begins to applaud, not with excitement, but with respect. There's no laughter, no noise, just the sound of acknowledgement. Joy nods, unable to hide her embarrassment, yet grateful for his grace. The moment feels less like a clash and more like a lesson caught on camera. The narrator's voice returns one last time. Fame may amplify the noise, but truth always cuts through it. And sometimes the loudest statement is spoken in calm. As the credits roll, Tom stands, shakes her hand, and walks off stage. The lights dim. The crowd remains silent. For once, a show ends not with drama, but with dignity. If this moment made you pause, even for a second, then you felt what live television rarely gives anymore: authenticity. In a world where noise drowns out meaning, Tom Cruise reminded millions that silence can still speak louder than any headline. Respect isn't trending, it's timeless, and it's what separates chaos from character. If you believe dignity still matters, share this story. Let it reach the ones who've forgotten what true grace looks like under pressure. Subscribe not just for the drama, but for the truth behind it. The moments when fame fades and humanity takes center stage. Because this wasn't just another viral clip. It was a reminder that strength isn't about shouting the loudest. It's about standing tall when the world expects you to fall. And those moments, we'll keep bringing them to light.